Views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station, its owners, staff, or management. The following program is sponsored by Rob Warner at Guild Mortgage, NMLS number 825102. Welcome to the Happy Hour with Rob Warner, an hour of stimulating conversation adding value to your financial future. Rob brings helpful insights into many aspects of the mortgage and real estate industry. Now, here's your host, Rob Warner.
Happy Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Happy Hour. I'm Rob Warner with Guild Mortgage. I hope all of you had a great weekend. I know we did. We had nothing but fun because we had a friend visiting us from out of town this weekend, and we went sightseeing. Amador County, Sacramento. So it was a lot of fun. But anyway, I hope everybody's having a great day today. I have two great guests on today. I have Bethany Brown, owner of Caring Transitions, and Kevin Ford, broker and realtor for yourself, right, Kevin? You're a broker and realtor.
That's right.
There you are. Anyway, it's going to be a great show. We're going to start with Bethany. Bethany, how's it going today?
It's going great.
So tell me a little bit about yourself, Bethany.
Well, I worked for UC Davis for 14 years, fostered 6 kids at one time, and I downsized twice already and did tons and tons of volunteer work for senior advocacy called Senior Coalition. And through that process, I found my calling is working with seniors, and that's how I started Caring Transitions.
So tell me a little bit about Caring Transitions. What is Caring Transitions?
Caring Transitions specializes in senior downsizing, move management, and several different estate liquidation options.
That's a lot, huh?
It's a lot, yes. And we're the senior advocate and resource guru for anything that a senior needs when they're moving from a large house to a small house.
Which I think I might have shared with you, my mom was 93 when she passed away, but before that I had to downsize her. Mm-hmm. She was living in Las Vegas by herself and couldn't manage on her own. Anyway, it was quite a process. I had to do it myself.
Were you really stressed and feeling overwhelmed?
That might be an understatement, yeah. It's quite a bit when you're having, I think everybody I talk to that deals with that, it's a huge burden.
So that's the systems and methods that I employ. It helps the family and the seniors with those stress because I just take the ball and run with it. They really don't have to do very much. And when they are involved, they're partners, and I guide them. But after the guidance, I can do a lot of the work myself.
So where does it start? Give me a scenario.
Well, first they need to know where they're going to move to. So if they're not quite sure where they're going to move to, I have the resources, and I can educate them on the different housing options out there. And I can also refer them to realtors, to placement agencies, and explain to them what they are so they can have a better understanding and know what their options are. And then I can help them with space planning. I can go in and help them declutter and decide what they can bring, what will fit in their new home. And then I do move management and professional packing. I resettle and unpack, which is really different than what movers do. I do unpack, but I organize and put everything away. And the beauty of it is that the senior's out on vacation. They don't have to be there when I'm packing. They don't have to be there when I'm moving them. They don't have to be there when I'm unpacking because the systems and methods I use, all they do is come home and open the door to the new home, and it looks and feels like their old home.
Is that the way you prefer it? Do you prefer that they're not there when you do all that?
Yes.
You do?
It's a preference.
And then who employs you? I wanted to ask you that. Is it normally the senior themselves, or is it like, in my case with my mom, I would have been the one probably contacting you?
The seniors are generally the client unless there's an estate and they passed away and it's an inheritance. But generally, the children are the ones that are the driving force.
They're the driving force, but the senior's employing you.
Right.
Okay. How does that work?
A lot of times the seniors don't want to move, and the whole process is a trauma. You know, divorce and moving is the most stressful events in a person's life. And then we're entering seniors who are having some medical challenges, and they need a lot of help. And so the family tries to step in if they can. If they're out of town, you know, it's really hard for them. So I come in and take care of it for them.
Yeah, what a great service. I'll tell you, I would have known you a while back. What do you mean that Caring Transitions is a total solution, a one-stop provider of transition services?
Well, I do everything to help the senior move from a large house to a small house. And, for example, I had a client who lived in an isolated area, and she was by herself. She didn't have family, and I couldn't get a hold of her. So, but she was expecting my call from my referral partner, told me. So I got scared, so I drove a whole hour out of my way to see how she's doing. And it turned out that none of her phones were working, and she had severe arthritis. So I took her to get her phones taken care of.
Wow, you go way beyond the call of duty.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. That's great.
And then the one stop is that I do the move management, and I do anything. I'm the resource person, and that's what the one stop solution is. They don't have to do the interviewing and hiring and researching for a planner, for real estate people, for housing, for movers, you know, for unpacking, you know, or for estate liquidations.
So you have all those resources available that you refer them to, or do you handle it, actually?
I handle some of them, and I refer to other people, and I partner with other people. So I really like to partner with people who specialize with seniors. So there's seniors real estate specialists, and there are specific, you know, specialties. Like I'm a relocation and transition specialist that specialize with seniors.
Is there a licensing requirement for that, or?
It's a certificate that we go through.
So you've gone through some kind of courses or training as well on that?
Yes, it requires courses. It requires a lot of training and experience.
So how about, are you bonded too? I'm just curious.
Yes, I have professional and general liability. I have bonds and theft. I hire employees, W-2. They're not paid under the table. They're not independent contractors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remember we were chit-chatting before you came on the show about, you know, how important it is, and this happened with my mom too, that you make the new house they're moving into almost look like the house they came out of, right? Am I saying that right?
That's correct, yeah.
So explain that.
Well, if a senior has their toothbrush in the right-hand side or in the medicine cabinet, we unpack and we put it in the medicine cabinet. Or if they have slippers next to the rocker, we place the slippers next to the rocker. So we try really hard to duplicate the old house in the new house. And they're not there when we're doing it.
Right, so you're like taking pictures of the old house or something, so you know kind of what the way things were arranged?
We take pictures, we wrap the books, and we write, you know, bottom shelf, right-hand side, and yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, no, that's really important. I mean,
Yeah.
my mom was going through a lot of stress relocating. It's bringing back all those memories, even getting similar like draperies or window coverings so that, you know, things look familiar.
I've had clients, when they open the door to the new home, start crying. It looks like home. And it feels and looks like home to them.
So, okay. I know you had a couple questions, Ken.
Well, I'll tell you, that's an important service to really consider. I've got 2 clients right now, one of which is actually in the process of trying to deal with the packing to downsize their home. And how do you help them decide what furnishings to take to them if they're downsizing? Not every dresser or table or end table is going to be able to fit in the new home. Do you help them at least deal with some of the frustration of deciding what furnitures go and what needs to be maybe listed on Craigslist or to liquidate?
I do. I do space planning.
Okay.
And the space planning is like a floor plan, but I also measure the furniture that they want, and I put the furniture in the plan.
Very nice.
So we can tell.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have several different liquidation options. I do estate sales, consignment, and online auctions. So whatever their needs or objectives are, I
Well, hold that thought. We got to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Happy Hour. I'm Rob Warner with Guild Mortgage, and we're being joined by Bethany Brown, owner of Caring Transitions. And you were just having a conversation with Kevin here about moving from a larger home, and what do you do with all your belongings, and how do you pick what? So can you finish off that train of thought? I interrupted you.
I think I was done.
Okay.
I'm good.
You're good. Okay. Well, I know this is the question I had. Important decluttering and staging a home. Talk about decluttering a home now.
Well, it's really important to declutter your house if you want to sell it. You want buyers to feel that it's their house when they enter your home. So I take all the depersonalized things off the walls and the knickknacks, so that people can see themselves in your home. And then I make it look like a showroom house. And in the process, we are deciding what you want to take and what you want to sell.
And who's deciding that? You or the person that's moving? I'm just curious because it's hard. Correct me if I'm wrong. An elderly person probably doesn't want to get rid of anything, right? Or am I wrong?
It's really, really hard because people are attached to their belongings. They're part of who they are. So I ask them questions, and then having the space plan intact really, really helps them because they can visualize what will fit and what won't fit. And so I ask them questions, so there's really two big things. Do you need this?
And what's usually the answer?
Yes.
Okay.
But I do ask them more questions about need and explain, is it like, do you have to eat it? I mean, is it like you need food? You need food to survive. Do you really need this item to survive? And then the other thing is, do you love it? The third one is, do you want it? But it's the first two that are the ones that we try to keep.
Do you need it?
Do you need it? And do you love it?
Okay.
If you want it, then I try to encourage them to leave it behind. And there are other questions I ask them, too, to help them let go. And a lot of times they're not able to. So what happens is it moves with them and it doesn't fit. So it's got to go back or it's got to be sold on consignment.
Okay, and they realize that when they get to the new home?
When you're unpacking and resettling, yes. And the challenge, too, with it is it actually costs them more money when they're not able to let go bring it with them because of the moving expenses higher and the cost of getting rid of it.
Yeah, but I imagine you have to go through that sometimes. It's kind of like real estate, right? I mean, you have to sometimes people have to go through a school of hard knocks before they finally realize.
It
right,
is.
Kevin?
Yes, that's so true.
It's a process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, why hire Caring Transitions instead of a mover?
Caring Transitions helps reduce the families and the seniors' stress. And by the way we do things, we go through the house and the seniors tell us, and they decide what they want to bring, and that's it. That's all they have to do. I make the arrangements for the movers. I do the supervision and the coordination, and I'm there when the movers are there, when they load the truck and when they're unloading. I make the arrangements of where the truck should be stationed when they're unloading it. I just take care of all the logistics. of the move. And then I do the packing. I know what needs to be packed. And then afterwards, we can do the estate liquidation if they want. But they don't have to be there while I'm packing. And then when I'm resettling and unpacking them, they don't have to be there either, because I have pictures. The way we pack, we just don't throw things in boxes. We label things, and we know exactly where they need to go based on the way we're packing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty incredible.
And too, also, I help the families try to find a way to make it easy for their parents. Like the client I just had, the mom has, she's bedridden, and she has Alzheimer's, and she went into memory care. And so through that process, I suggested to the daughter that it would be a good idea to have her mom in the community in her new home the day before, because the mom was getting extremely agitated and upset by having me there because of me touching her things, and that was really hard for her to have a stranger in her house. So in order to eliminate her stress, and the daughter's too, I suggested that might be easy for them if she was able to go into a spare room or something, or until we move and pack.
Because you have to be there. I mean, that's part of your great service, right? The fact that you are there every step of the way for these folks.
Right. That's exactly.
And so the movers and the realtors. So I'm presuming you're very close with the realtor that, right? You have a relationship with the realtor as well, like Kevin here.
So sometimes the realtors are dealing with a couple who is having a hard time, packing, because they don't have the energy. They just can't do it. And the kids, they're really busy with their family and their kids, and so the time to get the house on the market is passing, because the seniors just aren't able to do it very quickly. And so that's where I come in, and I really help them get it done and get it on the market fast so they can sell it, because the value is in the house.
That's really important to think about, because I'll tell you what, I've got a client right now. We're planning to sell their home in Gold River. They told me they need about a month to do some renovations and do their packing, but that month has actually come and gone now, because they've been trying to do it on their own. He actually got a disc that slipped, and he's injured now, because doing it on his own, really was a great idea at one time, but now they're needing some help. And during this time of the summer, where it is a great time to sell, it's kind of come and gone now. And so your service sounds like it would be really helpful to even the folks that I can think of right now would really benefit from your services. I also have another client of mine. I just took another listing just recently with the kids. Dad and mom have unfortunately passed on, and the kids now are going through the things of their parents. It's very emotional. Which of the siblings are going to keep what, and then what are they going to do with the other items that they're not going to keep? Do they throw them all into storage, or when you mentioned dealing with liquidating the estate, I'm curious if you could help my clients in that realm of helping the kids decide after they've kind of picked through and decided what memorabilia to keep, and then now what do they do, to avoid having to pay large storage costs, for instance? Is that something that you could help this family out with?
Yes, I do that. And so I talk to the family and evaluate the quantity and quality of what is left after they've gone through everything. So I'm sure they probably took the most valuable things. And I need to decide whether the things that are left, if it would draw enough people into the sale to have an estate sale, and if that's what the family wants. And if it does not draw in enough people, then there are options of doing consignments or doing a whole house clean out.
So you help out with quarterbacking the entire, estate sale process, and if that whatever's left over, you help them to liquidate through a consignment process. Then
I do.
Okay.
Quite often, I get questions of what do I do with my stuff, and that's why it's considered a total solution, one-stop service, because I do it from start to end when the house is actually sold.
I get a question as far as timing. I'm a realtor, and I know that staging a home it's valuable but as you stage a home, you don't want it to become too much furniture because it takes away from the actual feeling of space when you walk through a home. So do you help these folks determine, okay, if this is an item that we can't take to the new home, let's keep it back and use that as part of the staging, or furnishings, or basically are we moving things out to a storage and then letting a professional come in with their own furniture to stage? Can you explain how that works?
It really depends on the situation.
Okay.
If, like you say, if they're going to take the furniture, the really nice furniture, and the rest of the furniture is tattered, then that's not a good option.
Okay.
We'd have to get some furniture into the house.
Right.
A lot of times that's not the case. We can stage it to make it look really nice, and I can bring some things inside myself to make it look like a showroom.
Nice.
So you take care of everything. You're kind of, or do you hire a stager then at that point, or are you the stager? I guess I wasn't clear on that.
I do so if the whole house was emptied, I would hire a stager to come in and do the staging. But if we're going to use the client's furnishings, I do that type of staging. It's
very good. Boy, one-stop shop is right. Hey, Bethany, give out your contact information, okay?
Sure. I can be reached at 916
347
3022.
That's 916-347-3022. Bethany Brown, owner of Caring Transitions. You have a great website, by the way, too, right?
Yes, it's at www.caringtransitions with an S, N like Nancy, E like East, SAC.
So just before, because we have like 1 minute before the halftime break, people should contact you when they're even thinking of contemplating a move for their parent, or vice versa, the parent thinking about it themselves, correct?
That's
Before
correct.
They even list their house, do anything.
Right,
correct?
Because I can answer questions and give resources.
Good. Excellent. Well, Bethany, it's been wonderful having you on the show. And
thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Happy Hour. I'm Rob Warner with Guild Mortgage, and we are welcoming Kevin Ford, broker extraordinaire, right, Kevin? How do you like my new name for you, huh?
I love the nickname.
Broker
Thank
extraordinaire. So you're an independent
it's my
broker,
tagline.
right?
Yes, I am an independent broker. I've been a broker since 2005. I was an agent and started out being an agent in 1999.
1999.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a song about that? I don't know. So tell me a little bit about boy, I have good English today, huh? A little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll start out at the beginning here. I was born in Santa Clara. We moved all the way up to Roseville back in 1980, and back then it was just a little country town. Now it's exploded into a big metropolitan it's becoming a metropolitan, I guess, as we speak. But I went on to UC Davis and played volleyball there, and then after graduating, I tried to make it into the beach volleyball doubles, a lot of tournaments and becoming a pro down in Huntington Beach. Realized that wasn't my calling, and then I ended up moving back home in 1999 to help Dad out with building, and there was 3 different subdivisions he was working on here locally in Antelope and in Vacaville.
So you've been around a little bit.
Yeah. I've really been. I found my calling in '99 that I was going to come back and work in real estate, working under my father's new home construction company called Planning Horizons, and we built out two communities in Antelope. One of them was called Ridge Point Condominiums, 180 condos out there, and then 127 homes in right next door called Woodleaf Village, a little gated community. And then we built out a senior community out in Vacaville, 65 homes called Spinnaker Cove, and that was I got to manage the different sales teams at all those subdivisions. It was really exciting.
Oh, so your dad was quite a builder then, huh?
Yeah,
Other
yeah.
than that little subdivisions.
Yeah. Even before I came back home, he was working on a number of other things too. He's doing Rolling Wood. He did the Rolling Wood condos and a couple of other subdivisions. But yeah, so I got into real estate just because of the family business. And then decided to break out on my own back in 2005 as I got my broker's license, and I've been just serving people in the buying and selling of real estate. I've been helping people make good, positive investments. Buying a home, it can be a daunting experience if it's your first home, or even if you want to expand your real estate portfolio and getting into rental property, buying investment property. I've helped so many people in local real estate communities around here in Sacramento, like I said, for a long time, and I really enjoy it.
And you live in West Sacramento, right?
I currently live in West Sacramento. Been actually living there since 2003, and I really enjoy that community. It's wonderful.
Talk to me a little bit about West Sac. I know it's not just the only area you specialize in, but I imagine you know it well, right?
Yeah, I've been working out there, out there for a while now, and it's really the community I kind of specialize in. I've got some statistics that you asked me to bring along, and currently right now we have 75 homes alone in the whole 95691 zip code that are for sale. We've got about 75 homes pending sale, and just this year we've had 346 homes sold in our zip code out there in 95691.
Is that low? Is that considered low, or is that average? What do you?
I would say at this point in stage, it's a good number for a lot of sales. For about halfway through, 2017.
Is it higher than last year?
It's a good question. I didn't pull up last year's, but I would say it's commensurate.
What's the attraction? I mean, there seems to be a major attraction to West Sac right now. Can you share
Well,
that?
I'll tell you, people in West Sacramento that have lived there understand the draw, especially the Southport community. It's a newer community that was built, it's really started to take off in the year 2000 to 2006. 2007 is when, subdivisions, Bridgeway Lakes, Bridgeway Island, the community around the Nugget out there, the new shopping centers, and we've got a new high school. It's just it's a growing community. There's actually a lot of subdivision things in the works right now, and with going through the West Sacramento Planning Department and Engineering Department, they've got a lot of new home builders that are actually planning a number of new communities and that are up in the Southport community. Because I think the draw is that you're close to Midtown, you're not having to do the long commutes to Folsom or to Roseville or Rockland. In this community being so close, to downtown, it really has that draw.
Yeah. So is it it's a city of its own, correct? It has its own.
Well, Southport itself is not a city, but West
Southport.
Sacramento.
West Sac is
West
city
Sacramento
that has its own city council and the whole nine yards,
Oh yeah,
correct?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it has its own planning and everything.
Oh right.
Is there
definitely.
plans for other retirement communities there? Or?
Yeah, one of the projects I heard it's coming up in the works is called Liberty, and I heard that they have a multifamily kind of community that's going to be catered to the senior community, senior 55 and older. Yeah.
So tell me, Kevin, what do you specialize in now and why?
Well, believe it or not, I've partnered up with a builder and a designer and actually a finance company that actually does land financing. That actually, with this team that we've put together, is targeting people that have the desire to build their own home, their dream home, on land. And right now I have 26 acres of a total of 3 listings, a total of 26 acres out in West Sacramento in the Southport community. It's for sale right now, and we're bringing along people that have the desire to build their own home, get out of the tract community and where you're kind of limited in space, and build on 1 acre plus type of land, and have a little bit larger estate to live on. Right now, I think it's exciting to be able to build your own home in this community out in Southport, because there's land still available within 5 miles of the state capitol, where you can have your own 1 acre parcel and spread out, so you're not right next to your neighbor, and you can enjoy having a little bit of space. So we're meeting with folks regularly now. We've got a kind of a team put together now with a one-stop shop where you can meet with the builder, meet with the designer, meet with the finance group, and actually, learn a lot about how to build your own home. I think most people are familiar with how to call a realtor up and look at houses that are already built, but not a lot of people realize that they can actually go out and buy land and have a group that can come and explain and take it over, so they just sit back and write checks, and they have to deal with all the shopping for subcontractors. We've got all that's kind of set up right now.
Are these all improved lots already then?
These lots that we have for sale would involve the utilities would actually be set up with septic tanks and well water. That's the kind of approach that we would be taking. They're not connected to the city grid right now, but they are within the city limits. They have yet to be parceled out. They're just currently owned as one large raw land, and so we were trying to put together groups that would come in and as a group want to build their own individual homes, and then we would subdivide as part of that package.
Okay, so you'd have all your people lined up already, basically, that want to buy the lots, right?
Right. We have quite a few now, but
basically,
So right now, with the builders out there that have plans to build in the Southport community, the larger builders like that you would normally see, like Pulte and Cressley, Beazer, they're going to be setting up specific models to choose from, and then they're going to charge for upgrades. Now that is one way to go about getting a new home, but I think that approach, and everyone knows that builders make a large chunk of their money on selling upgrades. They're going to have a bunch of standard features, and then they're going to have usually 100% markup on those upgrades, and then you're going to pay handsomely for their upgrade material, rather than buying the land, getting a construction loan, and actually the construction loan can be a part of the acquisition of the land.
Correct.
So our financing group can actually come in and help out. And it's at such low rates during the time you're constructing, and then it gets rolled into a 30-year fix. So it's a really great opportunity to basically design your own home. And we're using a designer that's based out of the Roseville area that's been doing sort of the higher end kind of things that use tablets and phones to operate your house, and you can turn on the pool light or you can turn off, shut the garage door if you forgot with your phone. There's a lot of things that we're now bringing in to this on this team that it's really exciting. I'm really, really excited about this new opportunity.
Oh, very cool.
I have a question. I'm curious. Is the land going to be zoned for like horses or?
Yeah. Actually, the land that I have for sale right now, and I'm trying to get more land for sale because I'm talking to new landowners out in this area. But most of the land that we have for sale is horse property, minimum 1 acre lots, and so. Yeah, definitely. And there's actually equestrian, if people are into horses, there's an equestrian pathway that the city has wisely it's been in the works and been in the planning. There is some existing equestrian paths, but they're planning to expand that. So, horse property is definitely something that's going to be part of it.
I'm a horse lover, right? So that's kind of nice if they have the trails that you can ride through the different communities. I'm presuming that's what you're saying, right? They
exactly.
all interconnect.
Yeah, they are interconnecting, and in the city, like for instance, recently we were working on developing a piece of land where it goes along a canal, and this equestrian path was part of the approval of doing the subdivision, and the city's acquiring a little corridor for the for that equestrian path to continue down on this canal that's in the back of one of our properties. So it's definitely something that is exciting to be able to have horse property and so close to downtown.
No, I know. What is it, like 10 minutes of downtown?
I mean, it's really an amazing opportunity for 5-10 minutes to commute to your downtown, and then you're back, in horse property, 5-10. You don't have to go sit in traffic going down 80 or 50.
Oh, I know. I enjoy going to West Sac. I do. I meet clients there periodically, and it's like a little world of its own out there.
Isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're coming up on a break, so I don't know if I want to get into another question real quick. But the question after the break is going to be, what do you think of the local market currently out there? But hold that thought, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. To the Happy Hour, I'm Rob Warner with Guild Mortgage. We're joined by Kevin Ford, broker extraordinaire is what I'm calling him for the show. Kevin,
I love it.
I know I had a question I was going to pose to you, but before we get to that, you were mentioning to me a meeting coming up that you would like to invite folks to.
Yeah,
So-
actually, it's a really good idea to put that in there now. We have a little informational meeting planning, just to meet with some potential, homeowners that are right now considering the idea of building their own home. It's going to be at the Streets of London in West Sacramento at the corner of Jefferson and Marshall at 2:30 p.m. this Sunday. It's on a Sunday, and on the 20th. So it's just we're going to be meeting with the builder, the designer, and the finance company, and it's just an opportunity to learn and just gather information. What's involved with buying land, building your own home?
I think that's a great thought. So the 20th at 2:30 p.m. Speaking about pubs, you also host some kind of dart tournament, and we're getting off topic a little bit here, but let's do it real quick.
Well, as you know, realtors and brokers, they constantly need to meet people, and we're here to serve people, and that's what we do. So in the process of meeting new people, I basically hybrid my joy of serving people in real estate, but with my joy of playing steel-tip darts. So what I do on every first and third Thursday is I host a fun social dart tournament. It's a $10 buy-in, but basically it's an opportunity just to interact and have a great time. It's over at Streets Pub and Grub. Sign-ups are at 6:30 p.m., and the play starts about 7:15. We're usually out of there by 10:30, but you get about at least an hour's worth of darts. It's fun, and it's a great place to mingle at Streets Pub and Grub. Their food is wonderful, and they have so many beers on tap. It's
Well, I'm going to come check it out. I can't play darts worth of beans, but I'll come see how close to the bullseye I can throw that thing, right? Maybe about 8 feet off, but who knows?
I'll tell the chalker to stand away from the board.
Clear the room.
Out there.
So I'll come back to the question I want to ask you. What do you think about the local market right now currently?
I think it's amazing. I know that there's a potential that the feds are going to meet and raise rates, and rates could only at this point, since they're so low, could only go up. So I think it's a great time to sell, because it's been a seller's market. A lot of buyers are making offers on properties, and they've been making multiple offers, and a lot of times if homes are priced right, they're gonna get those multiple offers. And I just really think that the market is going really well, but there's always that potential that if rates do go up, the buying power of the buyer goes down a little bit, and obviously that could stagnate a little bit of this appreciation, this great appreciation in values we're seeing that go up.
Yeah,
so,
it's hard to say what's going to happen with rates right now because it looks like inflation's kind of tame, so it may not be a rate hike as soon as we think. But who knows?
Who knows? I mean, I think it's an exciting market to be involved in. I help actually some companies that are into the flipping business. I think there's this group of lot of groups out there that like to buy low and fix up the home and then sell high to make a profit. And there's if you're into that kind of thing, I work hard to find homes that you can buy and come in and renovate and then sell. I think there's a lot of opportunity for that right now too.
So does an experienced agent really help produce a better price for a client, or do homes just kind of sell, regardless of the agent's skills at negotiations? Okay.
Well, I'm going to have to say that if it were a kind of market where it was completely elastic, where you didn't really matter, if homes are going to just sell for exactly what they're worth, then there would be no reason really to really involve a professional that's great at negotiating. I'll give an example why I think that you should consider working with a realtor broker that's experienced, that has that ability to negotiate on your behalf. I would say recently, probably a couple of years ago, I had a client that a friend of mine that actually I coached his son in basketball, and he said, "Look, I'm a steward over this wildlife refuge, and it backs up to my house currently, and I've got to stay local. I really want to just even stay on this same street, but my house is too small. It's 1,400 square feet. My family's growing. I can't have the kids staying in the same room anymore. I need a bigger home. I need a 6-bedroom home. I got to get out of this 3-bedroom place. But can you help me?" So we actually, in a 6-month time period, were able to buy a home. He was in a situation where he got a promotion. He was able to buy a home and then 6 months later sell that home. And we were able to actually buy a home at close to $100 a square foot less on the same street than what we sold his home for. He ended up, upgrading, finding a 6-bedroom on the same street, and I think that has a lot to do with strong negotiation skills. We're able to, obviously, buy low and sell high. I mean, obviously, that's what a experienced realtor and broker is supposed to be able to do for you. And if it's just filling out paperwork and that's all your realtor is doing for you, you may not be getting the best bang for your buck. So if you're finding somebody that wants to really serve you and put that fiduciary relationship is very important, to you to know that they're looking out for your best interest. Find someone that's going to basically help you and negotiate.
You said 2 key words: serve you, serve the client,
serve the client. It's all about service.
Bethany, I could hear that when you were talking too, that you serve people, and that's it right there. Serve.
Yeah. I've never been really that good at sales. To be honest with you, I don't try to sell a whole lot in real estate. It's really about serving people. They're smart enough to make their own decisions and just present lots of options that make a lot of sense. And then when it comes to finding the best deal, that's what you got to be good at, and as a realtor broker.
Well, I agree with you. Why would somebody care to move within the same county or to a county that allows for a transfer of property tax base? Have I opened up a whole nother conversation here? Huh?
It's a question that actually recently has come up because I've got a client that's selling a home in Gold River. They bought 30 years ago, and Gold River just got started. It's over, where Gold River is, over kind of by Rancho Cordova, beautiful community. And we've been they want to target a move to where they can get away from the busy Sunrise Boulevard that they're hearing every night. They want to go up to a private area up in El Dorado County, like El Dorado Hills, have a view of Folsom Lake. So we've been looking at moving them to El Dorado County because El Dorado County is one of those counties that actually participates in Prop 90. Prop 90 allows you to roll your tax basis, over to the new home, as long as you buy at equal or lesser in price of what you sold for. Now, there is a stipulation. If you sell first and then buy later, you can actually get 110% of what you sold if you buy in that second year. If it's up to 105% if you buy within 1 year. So Prop 90 is an amazing. It's basically an expansion of Prop 60, where you basically within the same county can roll your tax basis over to the new home that you buy. Seniors are.
So are you saying that if you bought the house 30, 40 years ago, and the tax base that you currently have is going to be the same or very similar to the tax base of the new home that you buy in El Dorado County?
Right. Yeah.
It's not going to increase $2,000 or $3,000.
Well, there are some things to qualify. For instance, you have to be 55 years of age. You can only use this once, and you basically what you're doing is you're taking advantage of Prop 13, and Prop 13 allows only for a 2% increase. So let's say you bought it $200,000, 30 years ago, and the house is worth now $600,000. Instead of having to take and buy a like home for $600,000 and have to pay taxes on a $600,000 purchase, 1% of $600,000, obviously $6,000 per year, you can roll that tax basis. So let's say that property taxes have only gone up to $3,000 per year on that because you bought it too,
So
and now
you're rolling the old tax.
You're rolling the old
house.
tax basis over to the new home, and so you're saving yourself in this kind of scenario $3,000 a year because that 2%, the maximum that can go up every year, has not appreciated as much as the total market has gone up. So it's an opportunity. Now, there's not every county allows for this transfer from one county to the next. El Dorado is one of the 10. There's 2 in the Bay Area, or 3 in the Bay Area, and the rest of them are in Southern California. So really, El Dorado County is the only county here around in our Sacramento area that participates and transfers out of. Now, Sacramento County itself allows for the Prop 60 of transferring within your county, but going outside is El Dorado's county the only one that allows you to move into their county and takes a tax basis from outside of their county.
Well, thanks for sharing that Prop 60 because I wasn't fully aware of that. So within Sacramento, you can utilize the same thing, by the way.
And if you email me at kevinwfordrealestate@gmail.com, I'll send you these articles that I have that explain in detail the benefits of this Prop 60, Prop 90 discussion.
I think it would be very helpful to give out your phone number as well, Kevin.
Okay, yeah, sure. If you didn't catch my email, you can give me a call. You can text me or call me at 916-847-3981, 916-847-3981.
And Kevin likes to use text, by the way, so for all you texters out there, please get a hold of Kevin. He's a really good guy. He's really a straight shooter.
Thank you, Rob.
That's a compliment from me, by the way, because so many people that are not out looking out for your best interest, but Kevin is. So I'm giving you a plug.
Thank you, Rob.
So anyway, we're coming up on like a 1 minute, which 1 minute in radio is like 10 seconds because the music starts playing. But anyway, it's great having both of you on the show today. Once again, Bethany Brown from Caring Transitions. Her number was 916-347-3022. And Kevin Ford Extraordinaire, 916-847-3981. Everybody, it was great having you on today. Look forward to you listening to me next Monday at 4 o'clock on 105.5. Have a great week.
Guild Mortgage Company is an equal housing lender, NMLS 3274, licensed by the Department of Business Oversight under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act. Rob Warner, NMLS 825102. All loans subject to underwriter approval. Terms and conditions may apply, subject to change without notice.